So if you don't mind my asking, who or what do you smell like these days? Hey friends, this is Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always enjoy connecting with you midweek. Hope you're having a wonderful week so far. That question again for you, who or what do you smell like these days? I have no idea where he's going with this one, Mom. Well, in Bible days, they had this process by whenever the king was arriving in town, whenever the king was coming back from a battle, or perhaps the king is out making some rounds, a little PR work, doing the political thing, visiting a few towns just to bestow some gifts so people will like him more. Whenever the king is out and around, of course there's soldiers there, there's armor bearers, there's people playing music, trumpets and all of that. But there were always people involved in the procession who simply had these pots by which they burned perfume. They called it parfumos, which sounds a lot like our perfume. They would swing that back and forth, kind of like an incense burner on the end of a chain, but it was really, really strong perfume. In fact, for most people, you could tell that the king was coming into town by two things. You could hear the music and you could smell him coming. And it's kind of interesting to say we can smell that the king is coming, because when people usually think that way, they think it's a bad smell. No. When you smell that perfume, you know that the king is coming. So imagine yourself being in a small town in Bible days, and you're setting up a shop one day, or you're out in the streets and doing business, maybe doing a little shopping or something, and you hear that music coming. And when the music is coming and trumpets are playing and drums are being beaten and so on, and you can see the shiny armor coming off in the distance, it won't take long before you're, oh yeah, that smells like the king is coming. It's a special kind of perfume. You wouldn't mistake it for anything else. You can smell when the king is coming. All right, Mike, where are you going with all of this? There's a passage in the book of 2 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul writing to a church at Corinth, which, by the way, the church at Corinth was in a really, really difficult place to do life and ministry. I mean, Corinth was a really challenging place to try to live out your faith in any way. It was a pretty ungodly place. So these folks are trying to live out their faith in a way that's very real, personal, tangible. 2 Corinthians 5, Paul says to them, "For you are the aroma of Christ." And he talks about the fact that they are God's fragrant possession. Well, what in the world would Paul mean by all of that? Well, when people smelled the perfume, they knew that the king was near. So here's a question for you. In the world in which we live, how do you smell? And when people smell you, are they thinking of the king? Who or what do you smell like? Because to the people living in Corinth, and they understood the analogy here, they got the illustration. What Paul was saying is, hey, when people are around you, are they thinking to themselves, it smells like the king is near? Or honestly, are they smelling something else? Because if they're smelling something else, maybe they're missing the fact that the king is actually resident, actually living inside of you, and God wants us to smell like the king. So here's a question for you. When you're out and around these days, your place of work, your place of school, family, friends, church, shopping, wherever you are over the course of the week, wherever you find yourself, when you're around other people, do you find them thinking, hey, you remind me of the king, he must be close? Or honestly, you smell like something else? Because friends, the world around us is perfectly willing to put all kinds of smells on us and inside of us. But Jesus Christ, when we are out there in the world doing our thing, Jesus Christ wants us to smell like the king. So when we're out there, people are thinking, hey, the king is close. I smell the aroma of Christ here. May that be true for all of you, friends. Who or what do you smell like this week? I sure hope it's the king. Hope you have a wonderful week. Hope you're taking care of yourself. Know that we love you, praying for you. Just glad to have you around. You take care of yourselves. God bless. Bye-bye.